What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me here today on this Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. Wow, we're already into the 11th month of 2022, and what a strange 2 years it's been for many, many reasons. Channel has celebrated its 3-year anniversary as of September 19th, 2022. Thank you for joining me here tonight for another metallic episode of Music of Destruction. Once again, bringing you only the best in metal-related content. If you missed anything in the past week, you know the drill. Click the eye that comes up. All the annotations are there. Videos are there for you to get caught up on. I would certainly appreciate it. Remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Controversial, opinionated, upfront, and critical. I don't know why the fuck anyone wouldn't like that and want to hear what only appeals to them, and they don't want honesty. I guess you want to watch other YouTubers or metal YouTubers who don't give you the fucking truth. Doesn't matter to me. Welcome to Album Review Tuesdays here on the channel, and tonight we're doing another member request. This one comes to us from my good buddy Aaron, and he has asked for a review of TOOL-Lateralus. TOOL-Lateralus, guys, that's what we're doing tonight. This album was released in 2001 on RCA Records in association with Tool, Dissection, and Volcano Entertainment, of course. Now, this album is also the follow-up to Aenima, which was released in 1996, and I'm sure some of the questions you may have is, well, does this album live up to how great Aenima was? And you know what? Of course, in my opinion, it's equal, and that's a difficult question because musical experiences, of course, we all know are subjective, right? Like, you may have a different experience of an album than I do, and it all depends on what you're willing to look for in the music, and of course, it's open to interpretation of what you're going to expect to get from it. So for myself, it's an equal album, but it's a lot more focused and mature in many ways, and it seems to be a lot more rooted in DMT psychedelia than LSD-induced psychedelia like Aenima was. However, this review will be similar to the Fear Inoculum review because Tool's music has always followed nothing but a consistent theme and construct of ideas and concepts since the very beginning. And for me, this is one of the best Tool albums, and definitely one that they've always been working towards since Opiate, Undertow, and Aenima and Now. Opiate was the EP, Undertow was actually their first full length, Aenima being their second full length, this one being their third, and this is another step in their mind-altering enlightenment that comes through their sound and the different layers of psychedelia and very dissonant, surreal, alien guitar sounds and drum work. Of course, you got the light shows and all the different psychedelia that goes on at their live shows, and I've actually seen them live a few times, 3 times now, so very cool stuff. And of course, that mind-altering enlightenment coming through the sound of course includes all 4 members who are still in the band, with Danny Carey on the drums, you got Adam Jones on guitar, Justin Chancellor on bass, and of course Maynard James Keenan doing the vocals. Now for me, to do a track-by-track breakdown is going to be damn near impossible because what we have here, in my opinion, of course, is an auditory experience of not just songs, but this is an unfolding psychedelic trip that obviously emits itself in waves of various mind-altering states of consciousness that defy explanation and reason. I mean, that's what the music sounds like here. But it also explores an ancient wisdom and past and the different stages of awakening to how powerful you really are as a soul in a human vessel. And it also talks about the struggle of being stuck in the 3rd dimension and how we can ascend and transcend our perceived limitations that this matrix tries to place on all of us. And what we get with Lateralus, to me, is really the surreal sound of alien dimensions and surreal landscapes that's kind of just being birthed and experienced forth simultaneously at the same time, all throughout every possible memory, experience, and life force, moving through everything on a massive scale of awareness that shifts and forces conscious evolution and comprehension that really defies any normal level of interpretation or understanding. And I know that for some of you, what I'm saying here is simply not going to make sense, which is fine. And to that I say, well, you obviously haven't experienced anything both inside and outside of Tool's music, which is obviously not just about drug trip-induced heightening of the senses and the absorption of new knowledge, but it's also about experiences, opening the doors of perception, And when those doors are completely opened, you can traverse into territories and recesses of the mind and the universe that you had no idea existed. And that really is the beauty of Tool's music. And I've taken mushrooms and stuff while listening to Tool when I was younger, and I had some very profound, enlightening, powerful experiences that I try to articulate. I've written a lot of experiences on eroid.org, which, if you don't know what eroid.org is, it's an ethnogen website where people can record their drug experiences and things of that nature. And I did talk about listening to Tool on there. But really what's difficult is interpreting these states, and these experiences are going to be simply too much for those who have never gone over the edge and into dimensions of being that are far beyond what you may know at this point. And once you finally ascend and assimilate into what you truly are, then it's going to make sense. And no human being left in this third dimensional prison is ever going to be able to explain, looking back through themselves, because they're going to come to realize that it wasn't real to begin with. That's what Tool's music really explores. And yeah, I know I'm kind of being really philosophical right now, but I mean, we're talking about Tool, not just another band. And for me to try and simplify their music down to a reasonable, logical explanation that's going to follow some type of formulaic explanation or reasoning or understanding is simply not possible, okay? So instead, I'm writing this review based on what I'm hearing as Lateralis plays, the vibrations and thoughts and states of consciousness that it elicits within me, of course. And that's what's really cool about this, because this art defies all normal aspects of rationalized thought and logic and basic experiences and perspectives of a soul that has not stepped beyond their five senses and seen what's beyond, okay? Now, Tool embraces all these intricacies and more. They embrace the intricacies of time, space, consciousness, life, interdimensional energies and beings that flow through us and all through everything at all times constantly. And what's really cool to me and how I feel about this album is that as it continues on its journey through you through it, of course, it also evokes many different emotional states and vibrational frequencies that, if like me, you've done extensive meditation or perhaps psychedelic experiences and ethnogens, then you will certainly be able to understand and realize the complexities of Tool's music with a much greater understanding and ease of listening experience, because everything you will hear will resonate and you won't need to look for an explanation about what Tool's music is, much less why the band does what they do. Now, for some of you Tool fans out there, this may not be what you were expecting Tool to create with their third album. You might have been expecting more of an Aenima, maybe a bit more of an Undertow album, but nonetheless, we get Lateralis. And for myself, this is a much broader scope of intricacy and complex polyrhythmic sections, okay? And their choices in their compositional framework and ideology is really, really mind-blowing on Lateralis, and it left a strong impression on me, which is why I own this record. I do have to get more of Tool's stuff, but it makes a lot of sense to me, and I love this album. So let's check out some Tool, Lateralis here on Music of Destruction.
Okay, now it's my turn.
And we are back, guys. Yeah, great stuff. I love this album so much. And what's really complex for me is the way each track extends its length to what most fans of music are going to find tedious and boring. But this, to me, is one of the best aspects of the album and choices that the band makes intentionally in order to test the true fans and the ones who truly are going to connect with Tool's music on every aspect. There's also so many layers of unfolding states of consciousness and things that are going on within this album that it blows me away to truly how incredible this album really is. And you know, Tool is something to behold and take notice of course, because they're unlike any other band on the planet, and of course it's all in experience, and it's going to be unlike one you're ever going to hear or feel, especially if you have done ethnogens like I said. Now, of course, you have to have the right mindset to appreciate Tool, and you got to be patient, and you've got to be willing to have that experience, because if you haven't pushed the boundaries of your own consciousness or sought other enlightenment to higher planes and developed your mind to these levels, then it's not going to make very much sense. And I think, however, that's how it's supposed to be. Tool is about a return to primordial states of consciousness and achieving enlightenment as uninhibited souls moving through a transitory experience. And once you realize that everything is an illusion and nothing that you experience in the normal perception of everyday reality is a basis for saying, I understand life, then it's going to make a lot of sense. Because what we get here with Lateralis is a lot of maturity for their third studio album, and it's far beyond normal music at this point. And I think the band were really trying to push the boundaries of what they'd done previously, and I think they really succeeded with this record a lot. And this is the sound of truth and embodiment of ancient wisdom and knowledge that can lead us to our ultimate release from enslavement and our self-imposed limitations. Tool's going to be a band that will force you to think beyond what you normally perceive and understand. But I'm going to leave the door open to you guys so you can actually take time to think about what Tool's music is, how you feel about it, and everything that I've said in this review, because it's actually a really incredible record, and it does have a lot of consistency, and the instrumentation and vocals and everything about this record will yield you the results you may be looking for if you're going to go into this album with a very, very open state of mind, okay? The final verdict for Tool's Lateralis is getting a 9 out of 10. I recommend all of Tool's work. Salival is a really incredible album as well. That one was more of a live experience, but I mean, I've seen these guys live during the Aenima tour, and I was tripping out on mushrooms, and it was like one of the best experiences I ever had in my life. So make sure you check out Tool. Hail the fucking underground. Alright guys, there you have it, another album review in the books here on the channel. Hope you enjoyed the premiere. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below, turn on that bell for all notifications. Merchandise available, click the home tab, as well as links in the description. I'd appreciate it. You can join the channel right now to become an MOD Elite, get awesome perks, $2.49 for your first month, $4.99 thereafter. Hit the join button, get access to exclusive content, review requests within reason, band interviews, collaborations if you have a metal YouTube channel, and much more. Access to members-only radio show live streams, and I'll be setting up a members-only hangout for you guys as well. Have an awesome night. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys all. Cheers, and stay fucking metal.